Hey everybody, welcome to the webinar Insights with Icons, a conversation with Tony Robbins, Pitbull, and Brendon Burchard. I'm your host, Eric Worre, and today I'm so excited to bring you three of the greatest entrepreneurs and thought leaders in the world, sharing their best thoughts and ideas for growing your network marketing business. Who would have thought that people like this are willing to weigh in on network marketing, give you some good ideas and some insights and how they view our profession. I'm sure you've heard it before. The best way to learn is from those who've already been where you are and have reached success. So that's what you're here for. You're about to hear from three icons who've gone through everything from starting a business and struggling to grow to high levels of success. They know what you've gone through, they know what you're going through, and they've figured out the best ways to achieve success in business. Let's start with Tony Robbins. He's an entrepreneur, best-selling author, philanthropist, and the nation's and world's #1 life and business strategist. He's empowered more than 50 million people from over 100 countries through his audio programs, video programs, and life training programs. His events are world famous. He created the #1 personal and professional development program of all time, and more than 4 million people have attended his live seminars. I caught up with Tony right after one of his infamous and rigorous workouts. Fair warning, he is sweating like crazy. And he shared with me his thoughts on what he believes to be the greatest investment you can make in order to grow your business and why influence is an important skill to master. The next icon you're going to hear from is Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305. Now, I know many of you are probably asking, Pitbull, really? What can he teach me about network marketing or entrepreneurship? Well, here's what I've learned. Pitbull is more than just a musician and entertainer. He's an entrepreneur, a world brand, and a pioneer. He talks about how he turned his life from negative to a positive and built his way to the top. So I believe that success leaves clues from all kinds of different aspects of life. So hearing his insights on how he turned a negative situation to a positive situation and how he's grown his brand and built his business, I thought it would be applicable to what we do inside of network marketing. I think you're going to agree. Today, he's going to describe the characteristics of a true entrepreneur and illustrate the best way to react when you're faced with resistance from your business, either from prospects or from the people even closest to you. And then we end this webinar with Brendon Burchard. Brendon is the #1 best-selling author, a world-leading high-performance coach, a sought-after speaker, and an early pioneer in the online education space. He's also one of the most watched, most quoted, and most followed personal development trainers in history. He's a top 100 most followed public figure on Facebook. His videos have been viewed more than 100 million times. More than 2 million students have completed his online courses and video series. For these results, Oprah.com named him one of the most successful online trainers in history. Entrepreneur Magazine ranked his Experts Academy seminar as one of the top 5 must-attends for all entrepreneurs. Brendon's going to wrap up everything by sharing the differences between the habits of average and higher performers in the profession. He's also going to share some strategies to take yourself and to take your business to the next level. By the end of this webinar, you're going to have several ideas and strategies to implement into your business and your personal growth. So grab a notebook, get rid of all the distractions, close down the browsers, because you don't want to miss a single moment of this amazing webinar. Now, for those of you who are new to Network Marketing Pro, my name is Eric Worre. I've been a leader in the network marketing profession for 30 years. As a distributor, I built organizations totaling over 500,000 distributors in more than 60 countries. Today, I'm grateful and honored to be one of the most sought after trainers and consultants in network marketing. I'm the author of the international bestseller, Go Pro, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional, which has sold over 2 million copies worldwide. I've conducted live training events with more than 500,000 people around the world. I've dedicated my life to empowering network marketing entrepreneurs to reach new levels of success. And my one goal is to always give you the best training possible so that you can reach and even exceed your goals and dreams. That's why I'm so excited to present to you Insights with Icons, a conversation with Tony Robbins, Pitbull, and Brendon Burchard. Just imagine what you and your business will look like when you implement some of the same strategies as three of the greatest entrepreneurs in the world. Let's get started. You've become one of those one-name people. You mention the name, you don't need to go through the resume. Everybody just knows. There's been the coolest little tipping point, I think, in the last 5 years or so, where it just became, all the skepticism just fell away, and it just became self-evident, and everybody just recognizes you for the global thought leader that you've always been. So that's got to feel good.
It does, and you know, so part of how that happened, you know, talking to your team here that's watching, is really deciding that I wanted to shift my brand, because you know, all I care about is helping people, and I've been doing it for 40 years, my 40th year doing it, and so there's something to do. I always tell people, most people underestimate what they can do in several decades. They overestimate what they can do in a year, right?
Sure.
And so over those decades, there's part of that. But 5 years ago, I said to myself, there's so many people who still think I'm positive thinking, and I've never been. I'm a strategist, so I thought, how do I get that across? And the first thing I did is I said, I was really angry about what I saw in the financial institutions and the way people are treated in that area. It's disastrous in our country. So much cheating, so much lying, and it's almost legal. I mean, you know, it's so hard to pin these guys down. So I decided I want to write this book, Money Master the Game, and I said I wanted to make it unassailable. So a lot of people think I'm just some positive thinking guy. Let me save their life financially. Let me interview 50 of the smartest people financially in the whole world. Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, Carl Icahn, all these guys. And I got access to people no one had. But then I also said, then I'll put my psychology in it. And, you know, I got, you know, people like, you know, Steve Forbes writing articles saying if there was a Pulitzer Prize for an investment book, this would win hands down. I mean, the level of response was amazing. And so that entered a different world, because when you talk about personal development, it's very much like network marketing. A lot of people, oh, self-help and all that. And I hate those terms. Or motivation. I've never been those things. But what happens is people have their connotations. So what I did is I decided to shift and say, let me be the financial strategist, because when you read that, and people also, what am I going to a seminar for? You know, that's the problem you run with network marketing. What does that mean? I don't want to be a part of that. But when you talk about money, everybody's interested. They pick that book. I need that book. I never, you know, normally when I meet somebody, I go, oh, you probably don't need the seminar, but you're going to enjoy it. And when they go, it's the greatest experience of my life, right? I didn't have to do anything. It was just changing the direction in which I delivered it. And I wanted to show people how to protect themselves and also how to take advantage. And when I come to speak, I'm going to put a little piece in there for people, because everybody should have a way out of what they do in network marketing or for any part of their life where they can be certain they can be financially free no matter what the market happens. And I call it unshakable, because unshakability is that feeling that it doesn't matter if the stock market drops, real estate drops, you can make more money when things are dropping than when they're growing, because it happens faster. And so I wrote this book, and I made it much smaller. My first book was 674 pages.
I know, I read it.
You know, it was like you would lift weights with it.
Yes,
This one you could read in a few hours over a weekend easily, and it gives you the actual tools.
It covers a lot of the guts of it.
Absolutely does.
Where you're going to go with it.
Yeah, and it makes it simple for people.
So you mentioned network marketing several times in your answer there. I know you know a lot about it.
Sure, of course.
And a lot of people in network marketing, I think, have a little bit of an inferiority complex because of the mistakes other people have made in the past, a little bit of the branding stuff. My opinion is, if you have an entrepreneurial bone in your body, for the average person, this is better as a way to flex your entrepreneurial muscle than the other forms of entrepreneurship available to the average person.
It's absolutely true. You're in network marketing, you get to do what you do best, right? You can do something that's so simple. You can find a product or service that you love, that you know has total integrity, an organization that's great. You can align with that, and you don't have to worry about supply chain, and you don't have to worry about accounting, and you don't have to worry about all the elements that really make a business go. People, when they start a business, there's a reason why the first year 50% of them are gone. You know, in 5 years, 80% are gone. In 10 years, 96% of all businesses fail. 4% make it, and make it doesn't mean they're profitable. It just means they're still standing. And after 10 years, it's all over. You've made it, right? No. I mean, you look around and you see Lehman Brothers, you know, have been around a century and did $1 trillion in business over that century, and they're gone like that. So it's so complex, and people don't know that when they start businesses. This is why so many fail, because they go, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm the greatest salesman. I'm making this company go. And they don't understand there's all these other moving parts. Or I'm the greatest software engineer. I can write code better than anybody. And they may be true, but the business is more complex than that. So network marketing allows anyone who just has a love for a product or service and has people they want to share that with, even if they don't know them, to allow them to expand. The other thing it really does, because everything else is being done for you, you're able to concentrate your power on what matters most. And if you look at any business, I tell everybody, Peter Drucker used to say, business is two things. It's innovation and it's marketing. Well, that's really the job of a person network marketing. You're marketing, you're selling, you're connecting, you're sharing, you're making that impact. And the innovation side, you want to innovate and develop yourself. You want to get better and better as your skill as a leader, as your skill to influence, your skill to coach people, manage people. Well, network marketing, you have this incredible partner in the institution that you're a part of, and you're able to focus on your primary skill.
I think a tipping point has happened.
Yes,
we talked about it before. Inside the network marketing profession, that it's becoming more of a profession. There's higher level people getting involved. It's not just all broke people with no place else to go that are getting involved. Why do you think that's happened recently?
Well, there's disruption. I mean, you've seen what's happened over the last 5 years in terms of the economy, and more is coming primarily because of technology. I'm an investor in a lot of firms. I have 33 companies now, to give you an idea, and about a third of them are all in the technology business. And what I can tell you right now is there was a research project that came out the other day that showed that since 1960, 59% of those jobs that were around 1960 don't even exist anymore, right? Telephone operators, all these different things, right? When's the last time you called your secretary and said, take a note? You just don't do that. You tell Siri and she prints it out instantaneously for you, So what's happening now, according to Oxford, is they're saying the next 10 years, 49%, that fast. It'll be much faster. 60 years to 2017, 1960, 27, 50 years, a little more than 50 years, that experience you could deal with. This is going to happen in 5 or 10 years, or half the jobs are going. And they're going from AIs, artificial intelligence that can do things. It's not just blue-collar workers, and it's the robots and the blue-collar workers as well. So I'll give you an example. Right now, if you're an Uber driver, right, or you're a taxi driver, you're a truck driver, we all know what's coming. It's not hard to figure out. Elon Musk right now is working to pass a law where I live in Palm Beach in Florida. If it passes, my wife's Tesla will drive itself next year. It's just a simple download and it'll do it right now, not 5, 10 years in the future, because he's gathering all that information because all those cars are bringing in more data that are making these things operate more rapidly. Well, who in, let's say, 5 years, worst case 10 years, but most people say less than 5, who's going to hire a truck driver who can only work 8 hours a day legally because he's got to sleep and everything else, whose insurance is expensive, who might be a pain in the ass, when I can have a 24-hour-a-day truck that'll drive and I get to depreciate it? I mean, it's not going to happen. So there's 5 million people in that category. There's 4 million people in the farming industry. The technology we currently have will wipe out immediately. If you just took 2 of those industries, that's 9 million people. 7 million people lost their jobs during the Great Recession when we looked like the world was ending. That's 2 industries. So they're all going to have to find a place to be able to function, and it's really got to start their own businesses because there aren't that many other jobs that are out there. There's high-tech jobs, there's certain technology, but there's always a need because everything on earth that you see, this room, that painting, this carpet, this building, everything you see, these cameras were all sold. The entire economy is driven by somebody who can sell. And selling is really just sharing when it's a network marketing experience because you're trying to give someone an experience of something that can change their life. And so when I look at that, I say, you'd be crazy not to do it. And also, you're going to see more and more high-level people come as the disruption comes. I think the next 5 years will be a huge boon for many industries, but the network marketing industry will certainly be one of them.
You train on so many different topics. You've mastered so many different areas, from finance to strategy to business to personal growth to all different kinds of things. I listened to one of your courses in audio called Mastering Influence.
Oh, yes.
It's so good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
You've kind of freshened it up. It was done a while ago.
Yes.
But if I think of one skill that needs to be, that is highly rewarded and needs to be strengthened inside the network marketing profession, it's this idea of influence. Why is influence such a big deal?
It's the number one skill of a leader. What makes somebody a leader? It's your ability to influence the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the actions of another human being. And if you can do that with integrity, and integrity in my definition means that you act like a fiduciary, like in the financial business, how it should be, you are putting their needs ahead of your own. Motive does matter. People sense that. That if you're raw and real and you can cut through to that, you can influence people. Owning it, becoming authentic with it is so critical. And I always tell people to influence someone, you have to know what already influences them. If you try to influence your kid, as a simplistic example, to clean their room, you usually try to do it the way it worked for you as a kid, right? Whatever worked for you. But it may not work for your child because they're different. We're all different. And so when you know what already influences someone, influencing them is easy. So I just tell people the person you got to start with, though, is you. If you can't influence yourself, then you're going to be fat because you can't influence your own hands, feeding your mouth. If you can't influence your kid more than the guy on the street corner, they're going to be doing drugs. If you can't influence someone, you're not going to create that passionate connection and aliveness in business or in your intimate life. What really matters is the ownership of the state you're in, like the connection to that person. Like when I go to speak to an audience, it doesn't matter if it's 20,000 people or it's one person. I always load my brain with what do I respect about them, what do I love about them, and my questions that I'm asking to influence somebody are always is, I want to know what do they desire most and what do they fear most. Because life is the dance between what you desire most and fear most. That's where people live. And if you want to help somebody expand their life, you show them how to have less fear and you learn how to increase their desire or their drive, and their life changes completely. And what network marketing provides the opportunity to do is, when you meet somebody, you don't need to recruit everybody. Probably the biggest mistake in the industry is people are constantly pushing, and people are coming from a place of scarcity, like, oh, I got to get this person. Oh, every woman knows this. A guy that's like, oh my God, I got to get this woman. He's gross. They don't want to be around him. A guy who owns himself and would love to connect with you, but if you don't, that's okay too. Like, I know what I'm here for. Women are attracted to a man like that. It's not just women. We're all attracted to somebody who owns themselves. So I think influence is leadership, and I think influence is a skill. But the skill starts with influencing yourself, and the skill starts with learning how to shift your psychological, emotional state when you're being rejected, when people are saying things you don't want to hear, when people make claims that you know are BS, and they tell you, oh, you're a pyramid scheme, all the stuff that people say, that most network marketing organizations are the furthest thing from. They're incredible organizations, many multi-billion-dollar corporations that are made up of individual businessmen and women who got into this business and are out there living their life to serve others. And when people feel that that's authentic, it's pretty easy to influence.
Yeah, and I think leader, the term leader is almost a cliche.
Well, it also, there aren't very many good ones anymore.
You know what I mean? Of one person who has one person on their team, they think they're the leader of that. Yeah. But being an influencer,
yes, I agree.
That is a very valuable thing.
But it is the skill of leadership. If you get great at influencing, you'll become a great leader.
Yes.
Yes.
So at GoPro Recruiting Mastery this November.
Yes.
You've been with us for a couple of years now. This is, I think, our third time, and we're growing by leaps and bounds. It's expanding around the world. You're going to spend an entire evening with the group there, training.
Yes. The
best stuff you've got. What I'm wondering is, can you maybe focus the theme of this talk around this influence?
Well, you mentioned that before, so I've already designed it for that. We're going to knock their socks off. They're going to come out of there being able to influence, coach, lead themselves and other people faster than they ever have before. And you're bringing one of my buddies there who's a great example of someone who's learned how to influence, which is my buddy Pitbull.
But to hear him talk,
yeah, when you hear his story, I mean, I know it because we become friends as adults, but he was a young boy. His mom was worried he's becoming a drug dealer, and she put him in the car on the way to school every day and made him listen to my audio. And he tried to turn it on to put some rap music, or slapped his hand. Is this your car? Right. And at the beginning, he was like, what is this? And then now he quotes my stuff better than I can. He's really amazing. But what's really beautiful about Pitbull is anybody who's wondering, like, how do I take my vision to make it real? He's going to walk you through how he did that in a place that's the most competitive in the world. It's much more competitive than network marketing, right? There's only a few that really become stars in the music business. And it wasn't an easy thing. It wasn't like he was an instantaneous success. And I think the stacking of what I'm going to teach with Pitt right behind me here, right connected with me here, I think people are going to be blown away.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, listen, as always, it's a joy to be able to spend time with you. Your energy, I mean, you got like solar power inside of your chest or something. You're like Iron Man in real life. This audience wants success. They want to become network marketing professionals. They want it really, really bad. They might be dealing with some fear, some doubt, some.
But the reason I've come and done this with you is because these are the people that are educating themselves. They're not just doing it within an organization where someone's doing it for free. They're investing in themselves. And to me, when I interviewed Warren Buffett, I asked every investor, the greatest investors in history, the top 50, all billionaires, all self-made. I said, what has been the greatest investment you've ever made? And Warren Buffett said, it's what you do. And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, it was investing in myself. He said, the greatest investment of my entire life was going to Dale Carnegie. Because he said, I developed the skill on my own to really get up and share my ideas and influence people. He said, without that, everything else I've done financially would be worthless. And he said, the difference in investing in a product or a service or a company, those are all wonderful. He said, but when you invest in yourself, you compound the growth, because when you make yourself stronger, better, more effective, everything in your life changes. Your relationship changes, your economics changes, your business changes. So I think the reason, so you know, is like you've asked me several times, I don't go back to most organizations more than once because my dance card's full and I'm just not interested. But I watch you keep growing and I see these hungry people that are investing in themselves outside their own organization. They're all coming together, they're networking, learning from each other instead of going, well, that organization's over here, that part is beautiful. But they're so committed. And when people are committed, man, it brings out the best in me and we're going to deliver for them.
Yeah, for sure. Do me a favor,
Yes.
as we kind of wrap this up, look these people, I mean, what I like to do is connect our audience with the most amazing information that I either collect or people that I find, because I love these people.
I know that.
Look them in the eye and give them a little piece of advice. Between now and November when we get together, what do they need to do in order to be able to take charge of their lives?
Well, if you're watching this, my guess is you're already hungry and driven. If you ask me what's the number one factor in success from anybody from Richard Branson to Mark Benioff, the people that I know in the world that are the most influential, they've never lost their hunger. And if you're watching this, you probably have that hunger. But what I would say to it as well is with that hunger, you also have to raise that standard within yourself of what you're willing to accept. I always tell people, we all get what we tolerate. You get what you tolerate in yourself, not other people. It's easy to go, I'm not going to tolerate this in the other person. But the way you lead is you hold yourself to higher standard than anybody else. And between now and the time we see each other, I'd recommend that you take a look and say, what are the 1, 2, or 3 areas of my life where I'm tolerating things within myself that really are keeping me from going to the next level? And as simplistic as it sounds, just make yourself do it. I don't care how hard it is, take that first step. That's the momentum. And once you get momentum, things that are difficult are easy. It's a corny metaphor, but the amount of fuel it takes to get off the earth, out of its atmosphere, is tenfold what it takes now to get those things all the way to exiting the solar system. Because once you have that momentum, it takes very little energy to keep it going. The hardest part is getting that initial momentum. That's where most people end their network marketing career. They're on the verge, right? And they're frustrated. I can remember driving on the 57 freeway, not far from here in Southern California. I was, at the time, I think 18 years old, 19 years old. I was so frustrated. I was working around the clock and nothing was working. And I was so angry, like, why am I working this hard? Nothing's working. And I was like at the verge. And I kept asking the question. It was like midnight. And I literally pulled off on the side of the road. I still have the journals today. I wrote these physical journals. And I wrote, and with tears in my eyes, the secret to living is giving. And I realized I had allowed myself, I'd start out being such a giver, but then when I was frustrated by not getting the results, I kept focusing on why isn't this working? Why am I not getting the result? I'm working so hard, me, instead of serving. And that day shifted my life, and it didn't take much longer after that, maybe 3, 6, 9 months before things really started popping. It wasn't instant, but that psychological shift of getting back to what your heart is about, getting back to what your soul's about, getting back to serving as opposed to what am I getting and why aren't I getting it? That mentality will keep scarcity in your life. So don't tolerate it. Figure out what are 1 or 2 or 3 things that you're going to shift between now and then you'll have a victory out of that, and I'll give you tools that will accelerate whatever you want to go to the next level. I'll look forward to seeing you then.
So, what do I call you? Pitbull, Armando, Mr. Worldwide. You have all these names.
I confuse myself sometimes too.
I know.
Definitely for this interview, we can do Armando.
Armando.
Yeah.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, same here, Eric.
I've been a big fan for a long time.
Appreciate
it. My wife and I have been to your concerts, and we love your music. And,
Thank you.
And what is your life like? I mean, the life that you live, traveling around the world, doing all the stuff that you do.
Well, I've been very blessed, but my life, to be honest with you, it's normal.
Yeah.
I don't let the game play me. I play the game. So with that said, we've worked very, very hard to be able to create our own agendas, our own schedules, and create our own opportunities. Okay, it's taken a long time. I've been in the game 17 years. We've put out 10 albums. Like you said, we've traveled the world, which has been the best form of education. And as far as sold millions of records, been in amazing award shows. I mean, one of my favorites, I was just at the Songwriters Hall of Fame, getting inducted as a global ambassador with Jay-Z, Berry Gordy, Smokey Robinson, Bon Jovi was there. I mean, it was just an honor to be in that room. So those are the kind of things to me that are priceless. And when I mean awards, I always say when we get awards, my kids don't need awards, okay? Right. And I don't think pawn shops pay much for them, to be honest with you. But to be able to be in those situations and learn from those kind of folks, to me, it's become a normal part of our life, to be honest with you. So I don't take anything for granted. I appreciate every opportunity. and more than anything, enjoy the ride, because life is short, man.
Yeah. Well, you're a worldwide iconic entertainer.
Thank you.
And the list of accolades is really, really long. And we do this event for entrepreneurs once a year, right?
Yes.
And we bring in thought leaders from all over the world. And when I first announced that Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, is going to come to GoPro Recruiting Mastery in November 2017, and he's going to speak, everybody's like, what? Because what they don't know, what a lot of people don't know, is your story and the entrepreneurial spirit that you have. What I'm most interested in, two things fire me up. One is an artist of any sort, and two is an entrepreneur, somebody who thinks outside of the box in whatever arena. So, my first question down this road is you talk about in your songs turning your life from negative to positive.
Yes.
And that's not just a lyric; that really happened.
Yes.
So tell me more about that experience.
Well, look, to be an artist, you are an entrepreneur. You're always going against the grain. You're going against people that don't believe in you. You're going against every time you do have a quote-unquote hit record, the next record is never as big as the last record. So you constantly have to reinvent yourself. You have to apply untraditional, unconditional, and innovative way of thinking on how to move and maneuver and navigate where you're going to go. No? And where does this entrepreneurial spirit come from? Where does this fighter come from? Where does this hustler come from? Well, it comes from, I'm a first-generation Cuban-American, living the American dream, broke all the chains. My grandmother was a part of the revolution in Cuba, along Castro. She was one of the first 4 women that was up in the mountains fighting with him. My aunt, political prisoner. My mother came over in an operation called Peter Pan. She didn't get to see her family. I was at 10 years old. She didn't see her family. It was only from 3 to 7 years, again in New Jersey. And then my father, he came over because they won the lottery in Cuba. And the lottery in Cuba is real simple. It's no money. You win freedom. So to be able to be born in the United States in 1981, which was right after the Mariel boat lift, this was all injected into me. What? Take advantage of this opportunity to be in this country. Take advantage of the fact that you control your own destiny. Take advantage of the fact that you can be whatever you want to be in this country. And take advantage of the fact that you have freedom. So when those things were injected into me, every morning they spoke about the story and what went on and why I'm so blessed to be in the United States of America. So what did I take? I take that drive, that hustle, that fighter, everything that I'm watching in the streets while I'm growing up, and I go, wait a second, how do we put this together? And that was music. Music is a product, and I have to find ways on how to move it, right? Well, my mother growing up had every job known to man, worked, me personally, I went to probably about 25 different schools, lived in good neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods, worse neighborhoods. But my mother sold water. I was right there with her knocking on doors. My mother sold cable. I was right there knocking on doors with her. She sold Avon. I was right there knocking on doors with her. Amway, you name it. She did it. And I learned that I think that not only to be an entrepreneur is thinking outside the box. That I agree with 150%, but I also think it's all about an approach. And not only an approach physically, an approach mentally. Because if you're chasing money, it runs. All right? If you're making money, it's different. All right? So for people that are entrepreneurs, there's no cut in the corner. There's no magic bullet. There's no cheat sheet. It's really simple, as complex as it may sound. Hard work. Work hard. Believe in yourself. They tell me all the time, Chico, that's another name that I got, by the way. They say, Chico, you're so lucky, Chico. I say, man, you know what's funny? Harder I work, luckier I get. It's really that simple. And people think that there's something genius to the things that we do. And it's not, because look, in the music business, it's just that. Music, business. And it's a business where half of them don't know music and half of them don't know business. Have no business in music. What is this? I'm confused, right? Well, guess what we have to constantly do? Fight. Because it's 90% business, 10% talent. And I'm far from talented. But I'll outwork you. I'll out-hustle you. And I have a lion's heart, you know. And when I say I mean we, I mean us, because there's no way I do this by myself. We have an amazing team that understands the vision, which there's a saying in Spanish is paso corto y larga, which is short steps, long vision. And I think everybody now, we're living in a society that's filled with instant gratification. Instant gratification. But if they only knew, the more you want things faster, what comes quick leaves quicker. Because it's easy money. You don't appreciate it. You don't understand it. So to me, it's not about building a business and making all this money. Yes, don't get me wrong. There's no hidden agenda here, guys. We all want to generate. I get that part. But man, the priceless part is the journey. The priceless part is all the no's you ran into, all the failures that happen, all the slip-ups, all the times you got knocked down. That is the fun part of the story. That's why when you get in a circle of people and you're talking to them about success and you're talking to them about what it's really like, they respect you and they love to be around you because you admit what it took to get there. You know, and that to me is a true entrepreneur, a true fighter, someone that goes, you knock me down, but wait till I get back up. Oh, it's going to be so much fun, you know? And those are the things that I look forward to. And there's little things that I tell people all the time in success, right? It's like making a record. It's not just making it, it's about maintaining it, right? So to me, you have levels of success. You succeed, that's making it. Success is maintaining it. When you understand those two, then you are successful, right? But people don't break down words. Me, I live in a life of constantly playing with words, you know, and finding double meanings to them and how to make something so simple but yet so genius. Well, if you break down the word success, it's telling you everything. When you get to a certain level of success, you're giving people access to suck in excess. That's what success becomes. As an artist, you have a manager sucking. You have the label sucking, agent sucking, taxes sucking. Then comes friends, family, everybody, one way or another, hitting you, hitting you. When you finally realize that that is a part of success, then you can become successful. So as an entrepreneur and everybody out there is trying to create something, invent something, and be innovative, just know that it comes with valleys, peaks, ups, downs, speed bumps. I mean, you name it. That's the priceless part of being an entrepreneur. I think it's the story and the journey.
Most of the audience that's watching this and is going to be seeing you in November, these people are in the network marketing business. Mm-hmm. They're selling products and services. They're building teams of other people doing the same thing. They're building it out of their home. And this is not a traditional path. You know, most people are raised to get an education, get a job, work for the man. And these people want to go a different route. First of all, what do you think about a person making that choice to be in business for themselves, to be in network marketing? And what advice do you have for them maybe when they face resistance from their friends, family, people that don't understand what they're doing?
In one of the neighborhoods I lived in Miami is a neighborhood called Wynwood. They would always say, don't talk about it, be about it. When people don't believe in what you got going on, they just did you a favor. You don't need them in your circle. And sometimes, said God had a saying, and he said, I gave you friends to apologize for your family. Okay? Because sometimes our inner circle are the first ones bringing us down. And I use this analogy all the time. I said, it's crazy, because when you're a baby and you go to get up and you go to walk, what's the first thing everybody does? Oh my God, look! Oh, look at Jimmy's walking. Boom, Jimmy falls, but they go, don't, get back up, come on. Hey, everybody, come see this. And everybody's like, yeah. You know why Jimmy walks? Because everybody's motivating him to walk. Well, it's the total opposite as you become an adult. You try to become a lawyer, a doctor, or anything you want to do, open a business. Everybody's, oh, that's not going to work. Why are you even thinking like that? Why are you even know? You should just go get a 9-to-5. You just did me a favor. Thank you. I appreciate you. You just motivated me. And as in this journey, as you take it, you start to find people that understand your vision. And you motivate them, they motivate you, and that's where you really become a team and you start to execute and start to bring things to life.
One of your secrets to success, I know, you're a very humble guy, which is surprising to me for a superstar.
Oh, thank you.
But you're talking about 10% talent. I think your fans and most people in the world would disagree with that. You talk about one of your secrets to success being hard work. What's another thing that kind of separates you as an entrepreneur, as an artist, from people that maybe aren't as successful as you? What's your secret sauce when it comes to what causes you to excel?
I love new challenges. I love the fight. You know, and what I mean by fighting is not that I'm going out there looking for, a battle to be a part of. No, but if we come up with an idea and we feel that it's great and we feel that it can make a change one way or another, we fight for it. Right? Good thing is that we always invest into ourselves. That's another thing that I tell entrepreneurs. Always invest into yourself. Always invest into who's going to be a person that's going to help you grow to the next level, or whatever product it may be, or however it may be. Always invest into yourself. Best investment you can make. So as long as you stay relevant, let's say in my business, you're able to do that because you've built a platform that allows us to fight, that allows us to take on new challenges, that allows us to think out the box, that allows us to have that entrepreneurship spirit.
You think it's adaptability?
Well,
the ability to kind of move with whatever happens,
That's
and
for
it doesn't matter what anybody else does?
To be able to adapt to any environment, yes. And I grew up like that. I grew up in so many different neighborhoods that it's never been a problem for us to pivot, and just because it's really just a tweak when you think about it. But as long as you're having fun and the people around you, you're happy around them, there's no tension, there's no crabs in a bucket effect, that's what makes it so fun. The journey, priceless. I'll continue to say that because that's really what it's about.
This event, GoPro Recruiting Mastery, in November, there's going to be your friend Tony Robbins is going to be speaking at this event. And you're also going to be speaking at this event as well as some other thought leaders from around the world. We have over 10,000 home business entrepreneurs come from over 100 countries
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to start off there.
Yeah. What can people expect to hear when you come to bring the heat? What are they going what can they expect?
Expect the unexpected.
Right.
If you're going to be an entrepreneur, make sure that it's about that fight and you're doing something that, I go back, that you really believe in. Second piece of advice, patience, passion, and perseverance equals success. All right? And the third piece is there's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities, and no problems, only solutions. If you can take that and really apply it, I promise you anything that you believe in and that you're fighting for out there will come to life.
This guy is a force of nature, a global thought leader, and what I want to do at Recruiting Mastery and everything that we do really, part of it is to bring in thought leaders that are not directly involved in the profession and have them speak to what they see in the network marketing profession. That's why you see me doing interviews with Tony and Pitbull and Richard Branson and those types of people. Because I want you to feel better about what it is that we do. But the second reason why, we're buddies and why we strive to invite people like this to our events is because they've spent a huge amount of time on a specific area, and it's a specific area that can help you. So, Brendon, you know why I invited you to Recruiting Mastery. What is the biggest breakthrough that you've seen in the last year or two when it's come to performance and achievement, success in life, happiness in life? And so that's a big question, of course.
It's a big question.
Right?
Yeah,
it's a lifetime question.
But I just spent 3 years studying it in depth.
I know you did.
Yeah.
And so I want to hear about that. And then also, what can they expect to hear from you when you come and take the stage in front of this huge crowd to share some ideas on how they can do better in their network marketing career?
Yeah. Well, first, what I learned was huge. We just completed the world's largest study of high performers ever done, and certainly most comprehensive. 195 countries, over 2 million data points. The thing that we discovered was that high performers almost in every category aren't what we expect. Right? Today we hear the high performers are just grit and hustle and work super hard and burn yourself out. High performers aren't burned out. They tend to be about the top 15% of the successful people in any given category. But what makes a high performer unique versus just a regular successful person is they maintain success while still maintaining their health, their happiness, and positive relationships. So the whole, to become more successful, you're going to have to, it's going to compromise your family, and you're going to be alone, or, people's fear, I'm going to be lonely at the top. Not true. Or, to be more successful, I'm going to have to wreck my health. Not true. Or to be more successful, I'm going to be more stressed, it's going to freak me out, I'm going to have all these burdens of responsibilities, and I can't handle all of that. And that's not true too. High performers, because of their habits, have figured out a way to be more productive than their peers, but also happier, wealthier, they work out more than their peers, they eat better, and we all think that they must be special people. And the myth is that, it's your personality that makes you different or better.
Or you're born that way.
Or you're born that way, and what we found is it's not a specific type of person that succeeds long term, it's a person with a specific set of practices. So we found out there's 6 habits that most strongly correlate with long-term success. And so at GoPro, I'm going to teach those 6 habits, but we're going to wrap them around the biggest challenges people face, which is usually, how do I feel about myself? And how do I get unstuck? And how do I influence people in a better way so that I feel like I can build my business? Because I think what these habits have really proven is they're incredibly practical.
Yeah.
It's not just like, follow your strengths. I keep saying, strengths are great.
Yes.
But telling somebody just to follow their strengths is kind of like imagine I'm from Montana, so I have to use this metaphor. Imagine you have a bear, and this bear wants to climb a mountain it's never gone up before to reach a honey nest that it's never. They call them honey nests here. They call them something, right? So a beehive.
Yeah.
So they want to reach a beehive. It's never reached before. It wants
Or
to
a
get
honey nest.
Yeah, we call it honey nest. I'm pretty sure we call it that.
Yeah.
So you got a bear trying to go up an unexplored mountain, get some new honey. Never done it before. It's like walking up to a bear and saying, "Hey, bear, just be more of a bear." You can't. That's not helpful advice. So just saying, "Be more of your strengths," it's like that's not sufficient. What we discovered is high performers are practicing what we call deliberate habits. They're not automatic habits that come easily or naturally. And high performers don't report working on their strengths any more than anybody else. And that's because, obviously, we have to work on our strengths and our weaknesses. But what makes a difference is they're practicing 6 very specific things over and over and over and over and over and again. And because they do that, they become more successful.
Do you call them practices?
Yeah, we call them habits.
Habits, okay.
But we say, people always get confused, and we say, well, habits are not hacks.
Yeah.
So not one time, like, do this just to interrupt the thing. But habits are formed by daily and weekly and monthly practices. That's how it becomes a habit.
Well, let me tell you one thing I know about the people involved in the network marketing community.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that they'll have great notes on the 6 habits.
Yeah.
Right? But most of them already they have awareness of what they should do, but they can't make themselves do it.
That's right.
So what can you do?
Yeah.
Are you going to be just teach them the 6 habits? Or are you going to teach them how to ingrain those 6 habits into their life in a practical, useful way?
Yes. How do you create
and how
the
do they
habit?
connect that to network marketing?
Exactly. How do you create the habit, sustain the habit, and use the habits to grow your business?
Right.
Is the most important thing. And one of the habits, the 3rd habit, is this thing called raise necessity. And what we found out is that high performers, before they go into any given performance situation, and a performance situation is a prospect call, is a handshake, is let's go out to lunch and let me show you my stuff. Like that's a performance activity. And before a high performer goes into it, they say specific things to themselves to increase their motivation and their commitment to do better in that space. I was working with this Olympic sprinter, and we're out on the blocks and on the field, and he's talking about this upcoming competition, which happened to be the World Championships. And now this race is going to be won by 1/10 of a second, maybe 100th of a second. Right? That's how close the World Championship level sprints are. And he's talking about the competition, and he's getting down the blocks. I said, well, how do you even gauge your competitors? It's going to be so close. How do you know who's going to win? He says, well, a lot of people are doing the same thing. But he says, the person I'm going to bet on is, I'm going to bet on that person who, they get down the block, they get ready, they look at the finish line, and they say, I'm going to do this for my mom. And what they're doing, that's a performance necessity trick. That's right before you do something. Why are you doing this? Why is it so important? Why is it going to help your career? And it's like almost so many people, they know they need better self-talk, but most of their self-talk is so deflating. Most people know they should do this, but because they're good, they can just stumble and bumble around and show up, but they're not putting enough thought into it to do really well. So we have to ask ourselves before we go into a performance situation, who needs me on my A game right now? Who really needs me to do this? And many people watching this, the reason you got to grow your network marketing company and your brand and your business is because your family needs you. Your mortgage needs you. Your aspirations and your dreams need you to show up better. So you need to start talking to yourself and running specific habits so that when you show up, you're primed and you're ready to go. And most people, they don't have any habits for that. And what they try to do is they try to, just jump in the air, get really excited once in a while, but that's forced.
Right.
We're going to show people how do you find that authentic drive that doesn't go away. Because a lot of people watching, I'm sure that they have the same feeling. They wake up on Monday.
Hot, cold, hot, cold.
Yes, huge to-do list on Monday morning. And then they find themselves some point midweek, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
They lost it.
They kind of come to on the couch and they look around,
Yeah.
And they click the thing and they realize they're on their 3rd season of some show on Netflix. And they go, oh my God, what happened to my drive? It's not that they're bad people. They don't have the right practices in place. So we teach you the right practices, your career explodes, you start earning more, you start feeling better. And my goal in all of that isn't just to intellectually stimulate people, it's to get it into their psyche.
Give them the roadmap.
Give them the psychological support and development right when we're there, that they feel this transformation, they know exactly what to do.
Well, listen, I'm super excited about your talk.
Thank you.
I'm super excited about, more than anything, is in addition to all the skill training they're going to get, all the mental game, the skill game, and the strategy game they're going to get over the course of the 3 days.
Yeah.
What you're going to give them to be able to kind of supercharge all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it becomes more real and tangible, and they can turn it into results. Yeah. These people want success, right?
Yeah.
And there are people watching that'll either get some of the few live tickets that we have left. There's a handful left, or they'll get a live streaming ticket to watch at home. Do me a favor. Look them in the eye. You know this community.
Yeah, yeah.
You speak a lot to different companies, and you know this community. You know what's in their heart and soul, what they're looking for. Look them in the eye and share with them why, in your opinion, this would be a good idea for them.
Yeah.
To either be watching in person or watching virtually, and taking that step of putting their time and heart and soul and a few dollars into their future.
The reason I think people need to attend something like this is because if you don't invest in yourself, you can't grow and multiply. But the next question comes then, well, how do you grow and how do you multiply in this specific business, doing this specific career? And the challenge is, where do you go? Where else are you going to go to get this, where it's taught from some of the world's foremost experts, where it's training based, where it's a safe environment, where you don't have a million people pitching you something and you don't have 50 different products. It's just you work on your business, you work on your mind, you work on your career for your family, and that's why you have to go here. And everybody knows that when you go to a live event or you're watching it, there's a different energy there. We're having a good time here, but the energy you and I put off on stage is very different because it's so different. And what you need right now is different because you've been doing the best of what you know how to do. And now the question is, what is the next level? Because what you know and what you've been running and your practices and your behaviors and the way you influence people, it's got you to this level. But it's only gotten you to this level. And that breakthrough, that next leap can only come from great mentorship, can only come from people saying, hey, do this, stop doing all that. Because maybe what's happening for you right now, and what I've always found over and over at an event like this, is when you come here, finally you get clarity. And it is what we found the first practice of high performers worldwide. This is the top 15% most successful people in 195 countries around the world. Their first practice was to seek clarity. They're consistently seeking clarity in any given situation of who they want to be, what's the best way they can perform or add value or grow, how they want to treat other people, what's meaningful to them. And your level of success right now is based on how much you've been seeking clarity. And most people, I tell them, I say, you have not been seeking clarity right if you are consistently distracted and you are unsure of what to do Like, if you don't know what is going to lead to your next $10,000, or your next $50,000, or your next $100,000, or your next $1 million, that means you don't have clarity yet. And you need to get an environment where there are people who are earning that over and over and over and over again, who can say, hey, stop doing all that wasted time stuff, because your family needs you right now. Do these 3 moves. Do these 3 moves and you succeed. And this is one reason we're passionate, because I really feel that we're more than like motivational speakers. We're trainers. We want to give you those 3, 4, 5 moves, because we know from not only decades doing this, but from empirical data and evidence-based habits. Do these things, they lead to these types of results, and you change your life. And so I would tell people, the number one thing you got to get over right now is fear and procrastination. That you're not good enough, or that you can't succeed, because you can, and you'll meet hundreds and thousands of people who have done it. And then get over the procrastination. If you haven't signed up yet, sign up, because I'm not sure they know how huge this event is.
Yeah, it's big.
This is where network marketing goes every year. You don't see any other event worldwide at all like this size. I remember last year, I had a bunch of friends there, and they're texting, saying, holy crap. I mean, Eric is putting together this huge event, and the reason you want to get around that is because your ability to network and meet other people in and out of your product category who can share, this is what's working on invitations, on recruiting, on sales, on marketing, on building the brand and the business and the team and all the stuff you're trying to do right now. I just say, stop trying to do it at home by yourself. Get into a community of people who can reveal what to do. Listen to the training, but to do that, you got to believe that you can do it, and you have to sign up right now.
Yeah. So, Brendon, you're awesome.
All right,
I
man.
can't wait to see your talk.
I'm really thrilled.
Part of my goal is to make every hour of this event worth the investment of the entire event.
Easy.
And I know that your presentation is going to blow everybody away. So I can't wait to see it.
My man.
I can't wait to hear it.
Thanks for having me.
It's going to be amazing.
I appreciate it.
Wow. Tony Robbins, Pitbull, Brendon Burchard. These guys certainly know their stuff, right? I'm sure right now your mind's spinning with all the ideas and strategies that these men just gave you, and you're ready to get started and implement them in your business. Let me ask you a question. How much do you think you and your business will grow from what you just learned today? How much if you implement it? How much more do you think you and your business would grow if you spent just a few more hours learning from Tony Robbins, Pitbull, and Brendon Burchard? What if you could spend some face-to-face time? You could see them in a live event where they were really giving all of their best material, their best stuff. How much would you and your business grow if you got the tips, strategies, and skills based, the best training there is from 24 of the top network marketing professionals in the world? What if I was to give you, I'm by most people, I think, viewed as the top trainer for network marketing in the world. What if I gave you 9 hours of the best material I could give you, and you could take all of those notes and pour that into your business? What would that be worth to you? Would you be able to maybe pay the mortgage on your house, send your child to college, replace your old run-down car, or take a nice vacation with your family? Well, let me tell you, we have an opportunity for all of you that are watching this. We have our 8th annual GoPro Recruiting Mastery event coming up very, very soon, in just a few weeks. With over 10,000 people are going to be in attendance. GoPro Recruiting Mastery is the must-attend event for all network marketers. It's globally famous as the largest and most in-depth and most trusted generic network marketing training event in the world. This event brings you an all-star lineup of $1 million a year earners in network marketing, business experts, thought leaders, personal development mentors. It's led by myself. You're going to get expert advice on growing your business, elevating your mindset, developing your entrepreneurial skills. I promise you, you're going to gain tons of new information and strategies to push you towards success. Now, every year we strive to create a bigger, better, and more powerful event for everyone in attendance. I want to make sure that everybody who attends live leaves with at least a dozen good ideas to grow their business from each speaker I invite onto the stage. And this year, we probably have the strongest lineup of key speakers that have ever graced the stage. We mentioned during this webinar, Tony Robbins, Pitbull, and Brendon Burchard is going to be delivering their most powerful, unexpected, and effective strategies for taking your business and yourself from average to extraordinary. You've already gained valuable information to grow your business from these 3 icons just during this short webinar. Just imagine how much more you could learn and grow if each of these men spoke longer. And all of this is delivered in a very safe environment. No companies or products are ever mentioned, so that everything is completely generic. Plus, the event is a no recruiting zone. We are super strict about this. Anybody caught recruiting or even prospecting in any way at this event, they're asked to leave without a refund. It's very, very safe. And we have an 8-year track record of enforcing that policy. You and your team can come to learn and grow without worrying about being prospected. Everything's completely focused on helping you. At GoPro Recruiting Mastery, you're gonna get 3 full days of powerful training to build your business and build yourself. 3 days of interactions and connections with the most powerful network marketing professionals from around the world. 3 days of encouragement, validation, and motivation to go back out there and do everything necessary to succeed, to make 2018 the best year of your life, the best year of your career. Now, if you're wondering, what is this event like? Do people love it? What do attendees say? The answer's in this short 3-minute video. Take a look, and I'll come back and give you a few more quick thoughts after this video. It's the largest, most trusted, and most in-depth network marketing training event in the world.
You get people from over 100 different countries, over 100 different companies, leaders from different companies.
We're going to talk to you guys today about how to explode your recruiting.
It's like taking the best professors from every network marketing company in the world, putting them in one platform on one stage and sit at the feet of all these 7-figure earners.
The reason we're here today is we get to be involved in something that's bigger than yourself, something where you can make a difference and impact.
Really, there's a lot of personal development, a lot of business development on a generic level.
What GoPro does is it elevates my level of leadership because you're surrounded by the top leaders in the industry.
That's why it's so important for us to take our business so seriously and embrace the skills that are going to help us explode our business.
I keep coming to GoPro Recruiting Mastery because it's an opportunity to learn one nugget, one piece of information, a new relationship, something I learned from someone in the audience, something I learned from somebody on stage.
You need to see the lion heart within you, and the only way to find that heart and that courage is to grow your passion.
Eric has created a powerful community where people can be safe.
This has just completely blown me away.
You've never been to a GoPro Recruiting Mastery event, you simply do not know what you're missing.
When I thought about who's the best to be able to help you experience a breakthrough for your network marketing career, one name came to mind. This year, we have the one and only Mr. Tony Robbins for a full 3-hour session.
I have 2 outcomes. I want the business outcomes I want to deliver for you to show you what to do to go to the next level. And I have my mission of what I want to make sure you leave with, which is even more important than the business, but I want to deliver on the business outcome first. We're going to knock their socks off. They're going to come out of there being able to influence, coach, lead themselves and other people faster than they ever have before.
And Mr. Worldwide himself, international recording artist and entrepreneur Pitbull, who will be sharing insights on entrepreneurship, why network marketing is so amazing, and maybe even performing a song or two.
It's that little Chico Pitbull, Mr. 305, better said Mr. Worldwide. And everybody in November, get ready, because we're going to light it up at Network Marketing Pro.
Now you can get all the action and training with an all-access live streaming ticket. Watch everything from the comfort of your home. This, not for any personal reason for me. It's because I really care about you. I want to see you succeed. And I believe ideas will fuel your success and move you forward. I believe that insights and game plan and strategy, combination of mindset, skills, and strategy, and an emotional breakthrough on top of that is going to change everything for you. So that's why I want you to attend. Not for any reason for myself. Guess what? The event's already going to be a huge success. There's, 30, 40,000 people watching this webcast right now. Whether or not you decide to do this is going to make no difference to the success of the event, but it's going to make a huge difference to your potential in the next 12 months. This event can be something of a time machine for you. You can step into this time machine and move 6 months ahead without being a day older. You can move 6 months ahead, a year ahead of somebody who wasn't there. You can collect the ideas from this event and use it to supercharge your business. Can't wait to see you. If you're involved in network marketing in any way, just know that I'm proud of you, that if you've never attended an event like this, it's going to feel like coming home. It's going to feel like you found your people. It's going to feel like, oh my gosh, there's other people, kind of strange people like me that see the world differently than everybody else. You'll see it when you watch it on live stream, but you'll feel it totally different if you attend in person. But I really want to encourage you. And I would also tell you this. If you get a ticket for whatever reason, either way, and you don't feel like there's just 10 times the value, just let me know. I'll give you the money back. It's not about the money. I just want you to have a little skin in the game. Just a little skin in the game. I spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to put this event on every year, and you get to get access to it for a couple $100. Pretty cool. What leverage can do, what technology's allowed us to do. So I want you to take a step. I've taken a big step. You take a little one, we'll meet in the middle, okay? Everybody have a great day. Hope you got value, and I cannot wait to see you at Go Pro Recruiting Mastery. Take care, everybody.